Hi everyone, it's Chad here. Wanted to post a short video on how to switch some steps to take on if you're considering switching from a heel strike to a more minimalist type forefoot or midfoot strike when you hit the ground when you're running. One of the reasons you might want to consider doing this is if you're having a lot of knee pain or ankle pain and the problems you're having won't go away with some standard treatments for runners. One of the things you might want to consider is changing the way your foot hits the ground when you run. When you land on your heel first, all that shock is absorbed by your knee joints. When you land on your midfoot or forefoot, primarily most of the shock is absorbed by your calf muscles, and that takes away a lot of the pressure off of your knees. So this has been my experience over the past year and a half, switching from a heel strike to a midfoot strike, and it has made such a huge difference in the amount of problems I have with knees or ankles or anything when I run. There's virtually no pain at all in my knees or ankles anymore, and I can run consistently without any pain. It's been months since I've had to stop running for any type of a pain or injury. So I wanted to share the steps that I took to do this and some of the problems that I had and some of the lessons that I learned from doing it. So if you're running and not having any pain, you shouldn't be watching this video. Just continue what you're doing and enjoy running. But if you become frustrated with running and injuries to your knees and to your ankles maybe are setting you back and getting you frustrated, you might want to consider trying this. Please note that I am not a physician or a physical therapist or anything. I'm just a runner who had some experiences with this and have tried some different things and come across this method of switching running your forefoot from a heel strike to a midfoot strike, and it's been successful for me, so I wanted to share it. But make sure you've tried a lot of things with your physician first before you get into any type of a major change in the way you run. But this is what I would recommend. These are the steps that I would recommend doing to switch from a heel strike to a midfoot strike. The first short video I want to show you is the difference between a heel strike and a forefoot strike. So the first part will show me running in heeled shoes with landing on my heel first, and then after that I'll show you how I run now with a different type of a shoe and landing on my the middle of my foot when my foot hits the ground when I run. Notice that the impact imagine the impact when you watch the heel strike with the black shoes, and then notice the impact of the midfoot strike, how the shock is absorbed primarily by the calf muscles and how the shock is absorbed primarily by the knee joints when you land with your heel first. So let's start off with that video first, and then I'll talk about the first step that I would recommend with transitioning from a heel strike to a more of a midfoot strike. Okay, now that you have seen the difference between a heel strike and more of a midfoot strike and why the impact is less severe on your knees when you're landing with a midfoot strike, I wanted to show you the first step that I took in making this transition. The first step that I took was I changed the type of shoes that I wore when I ran. If you'll notice, typical heeled shoes have a lot of cushion in the back, and they encourage you to land on your heel. That's why they give you all this cushion back here, to absorb some of that shock when you hit the ground. For me personally, I feel that is one of the big problems, is that they're encouraging you to land on your heel. Nothing against Nike. I actually like Nike. These are great Nike shoes. These are Nike Frees. I used to run in these, but not anymore. They're great shoes. I'm not trying to knock Nike or anything. This is just an example of a heeled shoe as opposed to the shoes that I run in now. So the first thing you might want to consider is getting rid of your heeled shoes and trying to find something with more of a zero drop type of shoe that's going to encourage you to land on your midfoot. Actually, the shoes that I'm wearing right now are a good example of zero drop type shoes. These are, as you can see, there's no heel right here. It's pretty much flat. Zero drop means there's zero drop from your heel to your toe. I'm not sure what the centimeter drop is from here, but there's a pretty significant drop from here down to the front of your foot. So as you can see, the difference here is there's not a whole lot of drop. Actually, there's zero drop in the shoes right here. So these are called zero drop shoes. There's a lot of companies, or a lot of the running shoe companies are coming out with zero drop shoes right now. So you kind of got a lot to choose from. These are called, the ones that I run in are called Ultra Instincts. I've done a review on one of my other videos in depth on these shoes, so if you want to check them out, these are really good shoes for transitioning to more of a midfoot strike if you're going to run on the road. These offer, I think, one of the best solutions to having a little bit of cushion for you if you're going to run on that road surface, but still allow you to maintain that flat-footed midfoot strike that a lot of minimalist type runners use. So they're really good shoes to have for minimalist type running on the road, because they do give you a little bit of a cushion, about a 12mm cushion between you and the road, but they're still zero drop and flat. So that is the first thing I would recommend. You don't have to buy these shoes, but I would recommend trying to find some type of a shoe that works for you, that has less of a heel on it. New Balance has some trail running shoes that are good. Minimalist trail shoes are pretty good. Like I said, I like the Ultra Instincts here. ALTRA is the name. It's not Ultra, UL, it's AL. Ultra Instinct. So if you want to Google ultra running, they have a lot of different types of zero drop type shoes. I think Nike is coming out with zero drop shoes if they haven't already. I think Reebok has two, probably New Balance. Newton Running has some really good shoes, I think, that I've heard that encourage a midfoot strike. So consider changing to a shoe that is for you going to encourage you to land on more of a midfoot strike. So hopefully that would be my first step in making the transition. You could probably land with a midfoot on shoes like this, but it's not going to encourage it, and it would probably be easy to slip back into that habit of landing with your heel if you have that heel back there. So I would recommend switching those shoes. That's step one.